my mom went from being fine to having very painful symptoms to being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer to being dead all within about 6 months. And there are some cancers, renal cancer can be like this, other cancers can be like this, where the symptoms don't appear until so late that by the time you notice, there's nothing you can do. And also, it's very fast at that point. I've heard stories of women with ovarian cancer that have no symptoms, and then they go in with a symptom, get diagnosed pretty quickly, and they say, put your affairs in order, you've got 2 weeks. And the thing that, I mean, that's obviously kind of terrifying on one level, and it's also, I think, not infrequent. It's applicable to many other things. And it used to be thought that 1 unit of pollution would cause 1 unit of harm to the natural world, or that removing 1 tree would cause 1 unit of harm and then just is sort of linear. But they've realized that that's not true at all. That what happens is the river or the forest or whatever place is being destroyed attempts to maintain some sort of health and puts everything into it. And then at some point there is a trigger that is like 1 unit of pollution too many, 1 tree too many, and then the entire natural community collapses. And I think about this a lot because I think about the end of civilization a lot. And, you know, there are many scenarios that people play out. And the one that I think will probably happen is that for most people, there will be no symptoms and no symptoms and no symptoms. And then all of a sudden it will, there will be massive symptoms and the end will come very quickly. And there are many directions I could go with this, most of which don't interest me so much. There's sort of the doomer direction. No, I'm sorry, not the doomer direction, but the prepper direction. It's like, that means you have to be prepared all along. But I'm just really interested in, I think we're seeing, there's an image that I've had ever since the early 90s when I read David Ehrenfeld's The Arrogance of Humanism, where he talks about civilization basically being a giant flywheel, and it is spinning faster and faster and faster. And at some point, the structural integrity of the entire system begins to collapse. And he has this very nice page or so of, you know, sort of whoosh, you know, there go the Chotskys, you know, there goes retractable stadium roofs. There go, this is before retractable stadium roofs, but, you know, there goes this luxury, there goes golf courses, that they just start all spinning off. And then it's the same thing with some sort of flywheel that starts spinning too fast, is that it stays together, stays together, stays together. And once the structural integrity begins to fail, or when we've seen bridge failures too, where fine, little cracks, bigger cracks, bigger cracks, bigger cracks, and then one day the whole thing goes. And that's actually what I think will be the fate of civilization. And the question, and what I pray for every day, is that that happens to civilization before it happens to life on this planet as a whole.